HBO's Watchmen series is about what happens to the world 30 years after a giant squid monster appears in New York City, kills a bunch of people, and reshapes the course of human history. But with, superheroes. And if you're hungry for more fuel for your wild Watchmen theories, you should be reading PDpedia. It's an HBO tie-in website named after fictional FBI agent Dale Petey. Think of it as today's equivalent of the supplemental material that appeared in Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons' original graphic novel. It's fascinating stuff, but it is a ton to read, so allow us to fill you in. Here are 5 Watchmen details revealed on PDpedia. Turns out it may be a bloodline connection to a white supremacist conspiracy that also includes a presidential candidate. The PDpedia entry after episode 3 contains a letter written in 1955 to Chief Judd Crawford's father, who was also Tulsa's police chief back then. The letter came with the painting we saw in the Crawford home called Martial Feats of Comanche Horsemanship, which was also the episode title. Turns out the painting came from U.S. Senator John David Keene, and in the letter he says the painting is a symbol of Senior Chief Crawford's responsibility as a police chief and an instruction to be cunning, skillful, and ingenious on behalf of our, quote, order. Our order? Given Angela found a Klansman's robe in Judd's closet, we're pretty sure this means that both the Crawford and Keene families were a part of the KKK. Talk about having skeletons in your closet. Angela is currently in the midst of figuring this out for herself, but she doesn't know that Senator Joe Keene Jr., grandson to John David, has these ties to white supremacists. Episode 3 revealed that John Keene has eyes on the presidency, so now this little secret in Tulsa is looking like it'll have big ramifications across the whole world.
Adrian Veidt.
In the show, Adrian Veidt is assumed dead. One PDpedia entry is the newspaper article we saw in the show, which states the same thing. It also details the last time he was seen in public, 2007, and when the FBI officially started searching for him in 2012. Did he fake his death? Well, somebody did, and it's pretty clear now that wherever he is, he's probably being kept prisoner there. We also learn more about Veidt's public dealings after 1985. His businesses hit a rough patch in the 80s and 90s as he seemed to fail to predict the tech phobia that sprung from the whole squid thing and the economic upheaval that followed it. Veidt Enterprises recovered by pivoting to genetically engineered food and pet cloning derived from the tech he used to create his cat, Boobatsis. R.I.P. little fella. There are no cell phones either, and that's because people are terrified of technology. PDpedia references a public panic over a widespread theory that humanity's own tech is what lured the giant squid monster into our dimension at the end of the graphic novel. But of course, that's not true. It was all a villainous ruse orchestrated by Ozymandias to keep the world from blowing itself up. The hysteria is fueled by backlash against Dr. Manhattan, since Ozymandias tricked the world into believing Manhattan's body emits carcinogenic radiation. And since most of the tech in Watchmen's world derives from Manhattan's own biology and invention, people fear that these energy signatures may have crossed between dimensions and attracted the squid. But it's gonna take more than that to get me off of my iPhone. But actually, hold on one second, I do have to take this.
Special Agent Lori Blake. Who the f*** are you?
Silk Spectre became a Fed, and Night Owl is in prison. According to PDpedia, both were caught and arrested in 1995, but not before Lori changed up her codename and became the Comedienne to honor her dad, the comedian. We don't have all the details of what happened between 95 and 2019, but both got arrested, Lori is now an FBI agent, and Dan is rotting in federal prison. Not too tough to figure out that math. But PDpedia tells us that Dan, at least, isn't a snitch. He refuses to talk about what happened in 1985 or corroborate Rorschach's journal. Show creator Damon Lindelof told IGN that Night Owl will not be appearing in season 1, but remember, this is a guy who himself broke Rorschach out of the big house once, so all I'm saying is, don't sleep on Night Owl. Yes, by the New Frontiersman. You'll remember his journal exposed Veidt's villainous master plan, but only right-wing fringe groups like the 7th Cavalry believed it. PDpedia says the New Frontiersman went from little red tabloid to mainstream publication after running the journal. But most readers dismiss Rorschach's retelling as nonsense. The FBI couldn't even find evidence to support the journal's claims. Oh, and plus, Rorschach's secret identity, Walter Kovac, is still considered missing, which of course we know is not true. And of course, Watchmen is just getting started, so keep an eye on PDpedia as they post new information to help us make sense out of this super dense and mysterious show. Speaking of which, what do you think so far? Got any hot takes or spicy theories? Let's all pull on our tinfoil hats and argue about them in the comments. And now that you're all caught up, check out our review of episode 3, or how about a blast from the past? Here's our review of the Watchmen movie from 10 years ago. See if it holds up. Thanks for watching, and remember to like and subscribe to IGN wherever you like to watch.